So what is the difference between ADA and all their fancy equipment and a dirted tank? Well, ADA has got a mono behind it, and he is the grandfather of aquascaping and planted tanks, pretty much. But there is an alternative. I like to use Carib C. There are other alternatives we will talk about here soon, but the two primary Carib C products are the Eco Complete, which is readily available in most of the big box stores, or the lesser known Floramax, which is what I use in combination with the Miracle Grow Organic Choice potting soil. It is generally best to sift out the junk and soak it for about a week to start a good bacterial base. Other choices for substrate are your Sea Chem Fluorite, Fluval Stratum, which is one that's used very much by shrimpers, Mr. Aqua, which is a Chinese aquarium soil, and a Red Sea Flora base. And yes, I know, there are other commercial substrates available out there, but these are the few that I found that were most readily available online and at your local fish stores. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with ADA, just do a search in YouTube. There are thousands of videos out there that will show you exactly the processes they're involved with. In this video, I'm attempting to show you the differences between. Now, assuming that you already know what the ADA process is, let's take a look at what my process is. So here's some of the stuff that I've used in past aquascapes. This is black diamond blasting sand, which you can find at most Tractor Supply outlets. You can also use play or pool filter sand if you like the more natural look to it. This being a thin top layer, which is put on top of the Floramax, which is on top of the Safety Zorb, which is on top of the Miracle Grow. And here we see the sifted and refined Miracle Grow soil. It was taken out and wet down and mineralized. And here we go with the tank in question to be set up. Obviously, you want to leak test every tank before you go through this process, because you don't want to find out you have a leak after going through all of this. So here we are adding the Miracle Grow potting soil, organic potting soil. I believe that was about 2 bags worth, maybe 3 bags worth. At any rate, you want to spread it out. You want to have about, I'd say at least an inch of this. 3/4 would really be pushing it, but I would shoot more for about an inch base of the potting soil. As you can see, it's nicely spread out, a little bit thicker towards the back, obviously. This is something I like to add. It's a clay that is very iron rich, helps for the root development in your new plants. Now, I always like to wet down thoroughly the process, and here we see with the Safety Zorb added on top. So once you got your substrate wet down and Safety Zorb mixed, you want to add whichever commercial substrate you choose. This is the Eco Complete Black. It also comes in a red color, and I believe I used about 3 bags for this project. Now, the reason I'm using the combination of dirt plus the commercially made substrate for plants is to increase my chances that I will see lush growth from the start. I realize that there are a lot of videos out there about dirted tanks where they just take the dirt and put sand or pea gravel or inert substrate on top and then plant it. This method I have found to be a lot more successful, and it allows you to grow some of the more difficult plants. And it only costs an extra couple of bucks. Here I am using an old credit card to spread around. Here's another trick that for those of you who don't like to see that dirt, safety zorb, substrate, and sand layered look. You take the credit card across the front of the aquarium and push back the substrate and dirt off the edge or the front edge of the aquarium, and then take a little bit of the Floramax and you just kind of dump it in that little trough that you made there across the front, and fill it in. That way all you see is the black or red, whichever you choose, substrate. You also want to do that on the sides if the sides are viewable from any part of the room. Otherwise, you're going to see those layers, and usually not so attractive. So, yeah, just a handy thing to do. So here's the tank with the Floramax added, and this would be when you would want to either add your black diamond blasting sand and or play sand and or pool filter sand to cap off that. Of course, you want to prep your water 24 hours ahead with a heater and an air stone so that it's nice and aged. So here's the completed 55-gallon project, which you can see the full process of by looking for the Setting Up a Planted Aquarium playlist on my channel. Or you can also look at the 40-gallon planted tank project, which also gives you a full walkthrough of this process. So that's it, YouTubers. Hope you learned something from this. I was able to do all this whole process a lot cheaper than it would be through using ADA. I stand by it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.